Building Success series with Nick Ainis, author of Building Success, The Art of Real Estate Investing and Building Success. Start a business, grow a business. We're here to break down real estate investing, business growth, and making money. No fluff, no gimmicks, just real strategies from experts and insiders who have built success. If you're ready to level up and create wealth, you're in the right place. Let's go!
A little over dramatic, wasn't it?
I was thinking of like the WWF commenters, you know, like I was like Bobby the Brain Heenan there. Did you watch wrestling as a kid?
Oh yeah, big time.
So call me Bobby
In the
the Brain
heyday,
Heenan.
the golden age of wrestling.
So how are you doing, Nick? How's your summer going?
Yeah, it's good. I'm doing a small reno at my house. Well, not a small reno, but it's keeping me busy, keeping my wife busy, and
What, she's doing the reno?
we're both.
You
doing
got
it.
her carrying.
Yeah, she's handy. She's great, actually.
Amazing,
She
okay.
can do everything.
It's a
She's more handy than me.
dynamic duo there. Okay, because we missed you on the show, and it's exciting to have another episode of Building Success series.
Yeah, well, you know what? We got a great guest today. Great guest. So Darryl Frankfort, super successful podcaster and real estate investor, and he's a developer, everything all rolled into one. And he's got probably other entrepreneurial ventures, apps, and all this kind of stuff. Did you launch that app yet or no?
Yeah. We're in a beta test phase right now, but you can go on shrubs.me and check it out.
Yeah, I like the name. That's a great name, Shrubs.
Yeah, it's a sharing hub.
Yeah, I love it. Good name, good branding. Excellent. So
Hopefully it works out.
So welcome to Building Success, and the whole point of it is to try to get people excited about either investing in real estate, creating wealth, and starting a business, and that's what we want to encourage and do. And I also have the Building Toronto Skyline. I don't know if you heard any of that. We have some pretty interesting guests there. But we want to dive right into things, Darryl, and we want to hear a little bit about what you're all about, and maybe you can start off with a little bit of a background. First of all, we know each other. We met actually because I did a proposal for your Forest Hill project. How's that coming along?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went into the office. Yeah.
Yeah, I came into your office.
Yeah.
Oh, now I remember. Oh, that's funny.
You didn't put
this
two and
world
two
just
together?
gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah. You came into the office. We did a proposal. You
That was
said
a long time ago.
put some skin in the game, and
you disappeared.
No, we told you we can't. So we're not.
Listen,
interested.
most people, especially back when we talked, were in that exact position. Nobody was willing to put any skin in any games at that point in time.
Yeah. So what's happening with that project? Just quickly, obviously the condo market is like kind of pretty dead. So
condo market is absolutely decimated. It's a disaster. It's a absolute disaster. I can't even believe how bad it actually has gotten. It's crazy. 42 new condo sales in a month.
Yeah, it's really bad. Yes, I saw it. I actually saw something on, someone sent me an Instagram. I got a guy who actually left Canada to go work in the U.S. He started his company up in the U.S. too as well. Yeah. And he keeps sending me, feeds from Canada, media from Canada. I said, why don't you're in the States now? Why aren't you, watching Fox News or something like that? And so he sent me a feed and he showed me all the lock boxes that were sitting outside one condo. It was like incredible how many units were going for sale in that building. Yeah. And it just gives you like another way of looking at something. And but it is dead, and we're
those are two different problems, right? Like we've got a ton of inventory sitting there that's built and ready to sell.
Yeah.
We've got and we've got a whole bunch more coming, but then nothing's selling, so nobody's building anything. Right. So
certainly on the condo side, no one's buying. There's a little bit of sales in the low-rise sector.
In the new stuff? Yeah, maybe some in the new stuff.
Some in the new stuff. Yeah, a little bit.
If you want to live in Mount Albert or like Milton or, there's a couple of townhouse projects now, but a lot of stuff's not really moving,
right.
at all, right? Even if it's moving very slowly. Now, luckily for me, the project you're talking about, like, this is a different market. This is a very, very different market. And thank God at the moment, it is still moving fluidly. It's not a market that ever moved fast, but there's still tremendous sales happening in the high-end boutique luxury condo market.
So are you currently selling that building, and are you at the threshold yet, or?
No, we're ramping up to start a soft kind of launch. We're not going to do things traditionally on that site. I'm not a traditional kind of guy. I used to think I was young, but that turned out to not be true anymore. Eventually that ran out.
When were you born? Are you a 70s
76
guy?
76. Yeah.
We're all the same age. So,
but anyways, like, things are very interesting these days. That's for damn sure. And what's great is that luxury high-end market, like, these guys, they don't really care about what's going on with condos, especially if you have a super unique, beautiful high-end product. That kind of stuff is still actually moving, which is fantastic. Yeah. Like, at crazy numbers too. Like, people are selling stuff at $2,700 a foot, $3,000 a foot, $4,000 a foot.
Wow.
It's crazy, right? But you can't sell a condo that's 600 square feet for $1,000 a foot downtown right now. You couldn't have signed that contract if you wanted to.
Yeah, if your life depended upon it.
If your life depended on it, which is crazy.
So it's so I'm glad we connected, because I've been obviously I got into the podcast world, and I did it because it's fun. I think that's one of the reasons you did it when there was nothing happening during COVID.
Right.
That was your story.
That's my story.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about give us a little bit of your background. Tell everybody who you really are. Start from the beginning. Start with the early days. Come up with how you got into the industry. Give it to us all.
God.
Yeah, give us the Coles Notes version.
Sure. So, I mean, my family owns a big lumber yard. I started there. Yeah. So
is it Alpa? Is it Alpa or?
That's right. Yeah. My dad's cousin owns Alpa. One of the owners of Alpa, among many other things. But I worked in the lumberyard way back when I was like 20 or 19, something like that. Started there, realized, wow, if these guys can do it, I can do it, right? And so I left that business. I did a brief stint in the furniture business with my wife's family. That didn't last too long. From there, I decided I was going to buy just a lot, in a bidding war in 2006, like crazy. I actually did it I was in San Francisco, and I had this guy, just gave him a blank check and said, like, go get me that lot. I want to be a builder. It's pretty crazy, to be honest with you.
Wow.
And that one worked out okay. So, I didn't really know what I was doing. I worked in a lumber yard. I worked at a furniture store. I bought a lot, and I thought I could just build a house. And it was interesting learning experience, right?
For sure.
I literally dove off the cliff, and I was like, oh, geez, hold on a sec. I don't even know how to do this. I better figure this out, right? Because I thought when I worked at the lumberyard that I knew something about construction, but it turned out I knew nothing about construction, like maybe this much,
Yeah.
And so I was lucky. I lived in a new subdivision at the time, and right behind me, Aspen Ridge was building houses, like literally the lot behind me.
So you watched them.
I got to just watch every step of the way and just kind of mirror what they were doing, and just kind of, I ended up building a really beautiful house. I even made a little bit of money in the process. And then I decided to build two going into like the great financial crisis. And that was, in hindsight, really dumb. Right? Like there were some signs that it was dumb along the way. And one of those was my wife saying, maybe this is a bad idea. And turns out it was, just not a bad idea, bad timing.
Bad timing.
Like, horrible timing. We built beautiful products. We got on like magazine covers and all kinds of stuff. It was like a great time. And then boom, the market just died.
So what happened? What did you eventually sell those, or what happened with those?
Eventually, I sold the house I lived in. I sold those things, and I went to rent for a while. I had to rent the house and start over again. And it just so happened that the guy was talking to another guy, introduced me, and I became a general contractor all of a sudden. Some guy wanted a reno done to his house.
So you ended up doing that too.
And then the neighbors saw what I was doing and hired me for their project. And then it just snowballed into this general contracting business that went like berserk, like 20 projects and office, a showroom, 45 employees, like ridiculous payrolls every 2 weeks. It was nuts.
So let me ask you a question. So the houses that you did in 2008, they didn't go very well. Is that right?
They were beautiful houses, but the numbers didn't work out in my favor at the end of the day.
Okay,
yeah,
understood.
Like I lost everything and then some. So it was a bad time.
I want because I did hear something about that. I don't know how I heard it, but I heard it either from your podcast or something like that. And part of success is failure. And,
no kidding.
And
I'm really good at that part.
Well. Don't sell yourself short, because it's a good, if you've gone through that and you're still sitting there and saying, hey, I'm still here, I'm doing some new things and I'm making money again, then I say it's a success.
Oh, look, man, I'm way past that stage right now, but like those were some fucking crazy times. And listen, along the way, digging myself out of that thing, I created probably a bigger mess first than fixing things, right? Because I before that mess, I lived a pretty good life, and I wanted to get back to that comfort zone quickly, right? So I did some dumb things along the way.
So like tell us, you did the rental thing, and then the rental thing came. Is that what was next?
Well, I did this reno for these people, and then it just kind of snowballed into a general contracting business with like I had my own guys. It was like a whole thing. I had trucks on the road. It was like advertisements and magazines. It was like a big thing.
What did you call yourself?
It was there was a few names. I think Baden Homes or Baden Custom Homes, Baden Build and Renovate. We had everything Baden. I opened up a kitchen company, Baden Kitchens. We had a real estate brokerage, was Baden Real Estate. We had Baden Carpentry. We were framing for other people. It was crazy. And what I learned, is it's so easy to sell something, It's so easy to sell. The hard thing is to execute what you promised, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to execute something, right? But something isn't what you told me I was getting, right? So that proves to be unbelievably difficult, especially at scale when you're in construction, right?
Yeah, I can understand that.
I know you can. Now that I remember who you are, for sure you can, right? Because and you are talking about like some pretty scaled projects, right? And so like right now we're just talking about a couple of houses, right? Back in the day, it was like maybe 20 renovations or like a mixture of, 4 custom houses and 16 renos. Like it's just a few projects, but like you're talking about buildings and buildings. That's the next level of craziness, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And but that so from the subcontracting, I got into the development, right?
Yeah.
I closed that shop up. I got an opportunity to learn from a mentor, and I closed that thing up, and I went to go learn development.
So who is your mentor, if you don't mind?
Well, we don't speak his name anymore because that son of a bitch stole a lot of money from me. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about him. But he taught me a lot of good lessons too, it turns out. None of the ones I wanted him to teach me, but I did end up learning a hell of a lot of stuff. Well, look, at the end of the day, again, it's like you make mistakes, whether it's timing, whether it's trusting the wrong people, whether it's, selling something you can't execute on. All these things, it doesn't matter what they are if you keep going, right? who cares what those things were if you keep going, right? That's the real key. Like, find me a guy that didn't deal with a bunch of shit, right?
Oh, we've had a shit show many times. For all the time, we've had a shit show.
You have to, especially if you're in construction.
We did our first condo, Danforth and Woodbine. That was a story in itself. I don't know if I can mention names there because there's some crazy things that happened there. But you over the years you learn, and then you think you're like, I was really successful on that first project because I managed it myself. Yeah. And we were a lot smaller back then. But then, then you start doing multiple projects, and then you say, okay, well, you know what? I can't run all these jobs and still execute properly. So you learn a few things over the years, and I'm sure, and you meet people that rip you off and take advantage of you sometimes, and then you learn, I guess, to be a little bit more cautious with certain individuals, certain people. But so keep going.
More importantly, I think you learn to protect yourself, right? You figure out ways to do it where maybe that can't happen again, right?
Yeah.
So for example, like finding other people to guarantee the loans is a good thing to do if you don't want to lose everything you have, right?
Yeah.
And still take these risks, and that's available to people, right? Like this is not like
are you able to find guarantors? Very easily?
Of course you can find guarantors for sure. Yeah. I mean, you have to give them something to do it, right? You end up giving them a nice chunk of the pie. Yeah. But I mean, you learn that maybe giving somebody a big chunk of the pie to protect yourself is worth not losing everything, right?
Yes.
You learn these things along the way. You also learn, all kinds of tricks the more and more you go of how to turn, air into money, or, time into more money, or other people's time into more money. Yeah, but not just instantly. People know this stuff. Like, I think generally, even if maybe you're different, but like, I had mentors. They told me what to do. I didn't listen a lot of the time. I learned from mistakes, even though they told me I was going to make those mistakes if I didn't listen to them, right? Yeah. And same happens with the guys that call me and want me to mentor them. Like, I watch them literally turn into me, right? Like the one I said, don't turn into, right? Because the people learn from their mistakes. This is the best way. It's the pain, right?
I think that is. And definitely. So you closed up your general contracting, then you went into development. So when was that change?
I'd say around 2015, 2016, something like that.
Yeah, so fairly, about 10 years ago.
Yeah, about a decade ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I started learning under this guy, and I started putting deals together and kind of working as a broker, which was a great lesson because, you know who gets screwed out of the deal? The broker, right? The broker, especially if he doesn't have a license, right?
Oh my God.
Well, but you start to learn these things, right? And then you learn along the way, unfortunately, sometimes that, even somebody super close and dear to you can be somebody that fucks you the worst ever, right?
For sure.
You don't know. So it's...
Well, you try to, when we do a construction job, project, you think, here's something that I learned recently. There's a lot of new developers out there.
Sure.
And so we see them and, they have financing. So we say, okay, this guy looks okay. And, but really what they need is they have to have more. They have to have some cash as well. That's what we're thinking about right now is it's not enough just to have financing for a project. You have to be prepared if something goes wrong. Yeah. How will you, if there's a delay on the project, for example,
right? How
are you going to inject more equity into the project? And these are some of the things we're kind of thinking about, but then at the same time we need work too. And right. And so do you take that job? All of these things, it'd be good to be in a position where you can say no to things.
Now is not the days, I think, for contractors or managers to be saying no to anything. The problem is what is there even to say yes to? right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe there's some smaller developers working on some smaller stuff right now that might be a little bit iffy. I would imagine I probably know some of them personally, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, who's building anything? The big guys, I mean, most of them have their own management companies and they're all fully integrated, right? But the guys who sub out, like what are they building right now?
Well, I think it's they pivoted. A lot of people pivoted to the rental housing. I know of one of our clients still trying to sell a condo. It's a boutique condo, but it's not in Toronto. It might work. Yeah. We'll see. It could be a long haul, but it's kind of like your project. It's somewhat a little bit different because it's a different location. But so you went into development, and then.
So I went into like brokering development deals, right? Deals. Like I started putting assemblies together for like another developer, let's say, right? So a guy would contract me to put a site together for him, and I'd go do all the legwork, put everything together, and bring it to him all packaged up and nice and tidy. Nice. And I got some fees for that kind of stuff. It was cool until I got screwed out of some fees, or until other people ruined beautiful deals because they wanted to, fuck around with the negotiation a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. When it was already perfect or just beautiful, people like to squeeze and win. So I was like, I got to control these things, right? I can't let other people screw me out of fees, change the deal. I work on it for a year, and then this guy wants to fuck around with like 3 parking spots and blow the whole thing up. And now I just lost all my money. Or guys will tie up a deal I know is a home run for 6 months and then drop it, and then my fee disintegrates. The sellers hate my guts now, right? Because I wasted all their time. And now I'm out like 6 months of my life because somebody else made the decision. And the wrong decision generally, right?
Yeah.
So I just had to figure out a way to, do it myself, because the only way to control the deal properly and not get screwed, other than the market changing, right?
Yeah.
Is to control the deal yourself, own the deal, right? Which generally means that's not totally true. Most people want skin in the game. There are definitely ways of doing it without having skin in the game. If you originate the deal, as they say, right? If you find a good piece of dirt, like you'd be surprised at what people will do for you and with you.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Like, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
But so I started doing that, and then I just rolled into doing it myself, and then COVID hit.
So tell us about this, because this is the start of your podcast. So this is exciting.
This is when the podcast starts. So
how many podcasts do you have right now? 2?
Technically 2. But one of them has been basically not happening for the last month because I've just been way too busy.
Which one is? So it's the Canadian Real Estate Investor? Or is that what it is?
No, that's a different show. It used to be called the Canadian Real Estate Show. We changed the name recently to the Under the Table podcast.
Under the Table. Okay.
Under the Table, right?
Sounds all legit.
Right? Well, we thought we would try and appeal to a broader audience than just the Canadian real estate audience. Because, I mean, there's only so many people that are interested in Canadian real estate, right?
Yeah,
and we like to think that we're, fairly, entertaining enough to broaden out past just real estate. And we may have made a mistake, to be honest with you, but we'll see.
So that's Under the Table. Is that the main one that you have right now?
That's the main one. Yeah. We get a whole ton of action on that podcast. It's pretty cool. It just kind of we're rolling along. Everything's good. We just tie up a site, and in Scarborough, Kingston Road, we tie up this church, and then we tie up the neighbor. And we're rocking and rolling. We're really happy. Everything, this big, beautiful parcel in Scarborough. And we think it's a grand slam. And we close on the first piece. So it's like it's February 2020. Okay. Just people are talking about it. The Rudy Gobert thing didn't happen yet. Okay. That was like in March. This is February. So we close on the first piece in February. Okay. That thing's closed, ready to go. And we got the financing lined up for the second piece because it's supposed to close in like a month or a month and a half or something. But we have to go firm first. Oh, no, it's going to close in 3 months, but we have to go firm in like a month.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden, COVID hits March, the next month. So I close on one. The next month, March 12th, COVID. Everybody's going crazy about COVID. And I call my financer like a couple days later, and he goes, do not go firm on the next piece of the deal. Like, we're out. We are not financing that deal. Like, forget it. The markets are frozen. Right. Nobody's lending nothing. And I was like, God damn it. Like, this is great, right? What the hell? Wow. I go through the great financial crisis. Now all of a sudden this pandemic, like, what the hell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm at the peak, I think, and I'm like, boom. Now all of a sudden I can't do anything, right? So like a crazy person, we orchestrate a new deal with the second piece. We say we're going to close a year from now. We go firm and we give them more money, and we say we're going to close a year from now. But as part of that agreement, they said, these guys were pretty seasoned real estate guys. They said, you cannot put in an application for development until we close.
Yeah.
Okay. Normally they'll let you put in an application, and you have like I just
normal.
Closed on a deal last week where I got it zoned before I even closed on the damn thing. Right.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful deals. But in this case, they did not allow me the ability to put in an application. So I literally had to just sit around and do nothing. Okay. I had nothing to do.
Wow.
And so me and my buddy, because of another business I had doing like renderings for like condos, like for buildings and stuff like that for other developers, I was using Zoom a lot because I had meetings with guys on the other side of the planet to make those renderings for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I already knew about Zoom, and I just started talking to a friend of mine, like a real estate buddy of mine, on Zoom, because we were just like, we're on the phone and we're talking every day. And I'm like, maybe let's like see each other because we're lonely. It's COVID, right? So we're talking, and he's like, oh, your background looks really cool. You could do a podcast. And I was like, oh, why don't we just do a podcast? And he says, I would do it with you, but we have to be consistent. We have to promise each other we're going to do it once a week, every week for the next 10 years at least.
Wow.
And I said, fine, I'm in. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And we haven't missed one Sunday ever since that day.
And who's your buddy? What's his name?
TK Butler.
TK Butler.
He's a realtor extraordinaire. One of the top, if not the top in the country. He's like number one on the number one team in Canada.
Yeah, you guys were talking about the Trump tariffs and what else? Some other stuff, and the real estate market, how bad it is. Yeah. And but anyways, we'll get into that, I'm sure. So then you started the podcast, and what happened after that?
We started the podcast, and I started actually Shrubs around the same time as that.
Yeah.
And, I had nothing to do, and I'm not a guy who can do nothing. I'm a guy who likes to juggle lots of things and try new things out. And I'm always trying new things.
Nice.
And so I couldn't sit still. So I was like, okay, we'll do a podcast just for fun. And then it like started to grow, and you start to realize like, holy shit, this thing is like a pretty good distribution channel for anything that we want to distribute. Right.
Yeah.
And then people started, bringing me deals to look at.
Right.
And offering to invest in my deals. And I was like, holy shit, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah,
people started taking me out for lunch to get to the top of the list on my condo site to buy a condo.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking crazy. You realize that oh my God, this is like a little media company. If we actually direct it in a certain way, this thing can be really powerful, right? And I mean, you don't do YouTube, I think, for Canadian real estate for ad revenue, right? Like you need different ways of generating money if you want to do it for money, right? Not the ad revenue, because I mean, there's only so many people that watch stuff about Canadian real estate. But I mean, you know how much money I've made off of the deals that have come to me from social media? It's insane.
Well, that's great.
Right?
So you created like access
It's like a funnel. It just became a funnel to whatever the heck I'm doing at the time.
So are you getting investors now in your projects and stuff like that?
I have a list of people who are interested, who have reached out through various social media sources, depending on.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and without try. Like, I don't put it out there that I'm looking for that. It's just like people will reach out and say, "Hey, like, let me know when there's something to invest in."
So you're doing your podcast. What's the other podcast called, or is it worth mentioning?
The other one's called the Frankfort Report. And
I've heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a live, it was live 3 days a week, and it was just a lot of work to maintain when I'm busy.
Right.
But it was a whole lot of fun. There's some characters. We had call-in guests, and it was a hoot. But it's a lot to maintain, like, one podcast. If you talk to anybody, you would know now, like, to do it consistently once a week for 5 years, and it be interesting and grow constantly, like, that takes work, right? But when we realized it was such a powerful thing, we decided, you know what, we're going to copy like Joe Rogan and make a clips channel for people that have shorter attention spans, right? Because who the hell can listen to an hour of anything? I can't personally. Right.
Well, I listened to yours. It was good. It's entertaining. You guys have a good rapport, and it was great. I thought you guys are very entertaining. I think it's not nearly like a lot of people are really focused on, like you see LinkedIn. Everybody's focusing on saving the day, saving housing in Ontario.
Yeah.
And you know what? I decided I don't want to be one of those people. I want to just get people, listen to their stories. I want to be something like, people that are interesting to talk to.
Yeah.
And I think people like that, and it's a different approach, and I want to be entertaining for people.
Yeah. I mean, that's, there's a couple ways to go if you're going to go. I mean, you get a lot more views if you're serious and educational, right? And if you offer data, I find that gets you way more views and gets a much bigger following. But I think what we're doing is it brings a very different audience, because people are not just there for real estate. They're there to kind of have a fun time. We have lots of people drinking beers at 8 a.m. waiting for the show to start. It's pretty funny.
I won't be
people playing drinking games when they listen to the show. But it is because we want to be entertaining. Like, we're not trying to sell something. We're just trying to be a couple of guys talking on camera. And we used to have like an agenda, and that kind of just fell apart because, we have that good rapport, me and him, and we have so much actual real business stuff going on because we're both very active that like we can just have a conversation and you can get something out of it, right? If you're listening to the stuff we talk about, and you can be entertained, and you can probably be bored to tears at times too. But we also let people into our lives. Like, people feel like they kind of know things going on about us too.
Yeah, well, I think there's a element of spontaneity that's important when you're doing a podcast, and then you have to I do have an agenda, but with a guy like you, I'm not sure if I'm going to follow it. Yeah,
hey, good luck trying.
No, but So you got some very cool things. I love the story because you've gone through your ups and downs over the years. Yeah. You've learned from things, and this is like very interesting to hear your story. You've got the real estate end, you've got the podcast, you're a developer, you've got the app, which is interesting.
This is the most exciting. Yeah, the app. Oh my God, this thing is going to be the big one.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's crazy.
Maybe I should do an app.
Well, I mean, listen, it took 4 years and a whole lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's harder than doing a building, that's for sure.
Well, I like you because you've got a lot of sort of ventures happening, and you can't just stick to one thing. Because even myself, I do the same thing. I've got Fusion Corp. I bought an old 1800s courthouse and jail in Owen Sound. I'm gonna turn it into an event venue, entertainment, dining facility. I bought that with my wife. Cool. I got a pretty good deal from the city. I bought it directly from them. And, and then I'm doing this and as another side kind of gig, which isn't making any money, but that's okay for the time being. And, I feel like, but I also have other ideas that I want to pursue, but you can't do everything. So that's one thing I learned. And I also learned something is that try to stay within your, wheelhouse, do things that are related so that you really become an expert at what you're doing, rather than, hey, I'm doing this and I've got a hot dog stand down the street too. Yeah. So you really want to just stay like within your expertise. That's it, but you can do many different things within that expertise. So that's what I think. At least.
I don't disagree with you totally. For me, it's I'm a very, very tiny operation, right? Yeah. Like it's just me basically. So there's only so much I can do. And that's why, I don't build stuff myself. That's why I'm talking to guys like you and to, the person I eventually ended up partnering with, because I had that business. I don't want to fucking do that. I got out of that business on purpose. I don't even care how much money I can make doing that part of the business. I don't ever want to do it again. Right. Yeah. And so because I have a particular lane in my business plan of, finding the deal, putting the deal together, getting it developed and bringing in somebody that wants to do all that stuff I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, believe me, like there's a lot of stuff to do, but with 2 projects and doing what I do with the team that I've put together, I have a pretty good life. It's not like there's high pressure stuff going on. Yeah. And it definitely allows me time to go do other things. But I'll tell you, the honest to God truth, what really allows me to do so many things right now, and I'm not kidding. Well, 2 things. One, I don't know how to sleep. I can't sleep for more than like 3-4 hours straight, no matter what. So I get a lot of extra time in a day from most people.
Yeah.
But the other thing, quite honestly, is the amount of abuse I give ChatGPT. The amount that I use that thing and abuse that thing is unbelievable. And it allows me to do so many things so much better and for so much less and in less time. It's insane.
So that's a good thing, because AI is important, and that's something that I'm sort of investigating too. And we're trying to use it in various areas of Fusion Corp, and you can actually put business plans together as well using ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
They come up with some great ideas.
I wouldn't use it for spreadsheets at the moment. That one doesn't seem to work so good. But like there clauses, legal clauses, reviews of documents, marketing materials, images, video. Like there's
you're using it for a lot of things. It looks like
everything, anything that I can do, strategic. Like it's unbelievable if you use it right. And you have like base knowledge on the things you're talking about, right? Yeah, so like you can't ask it to give you a legal clause if you don't really understand the legal clause you're looking for, right? Like you want it to tell you the wording for what you're thinking. You got to understand law still, right? You can't just like whatever ChatGPT puts out, you can't give that to somebody, right? But what it does do is it like makes everything I put out there so much more robust, right? So much better. Yeah, and I can like juggle all this stuff because my head isn't spinning with all these ideas. I can put them somewhere and they extrapolate on them on their own. It's like, it's crazy. And you can train it to think similarly to you.
So how do you train AI to think like you?
You just use it a lot. You upload documents into it. You feed it like, for example, for this shrubs business, it knows everything that the system does. It's been part of the process in making all the terms of service and privacy policies. And, it's helped with layouts and all kinds of stuff. So it knows the system.
So when you do one project, do you stay in that project? Is that what happens?
You can make projects. Yeah. So for example, my Forest Hill project, it knows everything about that. My my bridal path project. It knows everything about that. And so when I get a new document in, I can feed it in there and say, hey, based on everything else that you know about everything and everything we've already done, what do you think about this? Right.
Oh,
and then it'll give me like this whole thing.
I've been using it generally, and I haven't been focusing on like, hey, you've got one project, so you stay within that sort, because it gives you a list of all the items that you're searching for or something like that. You have to stay within that. You have to stay with.
You don't have to, but it's way better. It's way better.
I think so too.
You can take a project and give it specific instructions for the project and say, like, for this project, you always think from the developer's perspective, like never consider anybody else's perspective, and always act like an asshole, or, you can do all these kind of things, and like always refresh the screen and give me the revised version. Don't make me ask for it. Like all kinds of things. It's unbelievable. And I probably am not even using it to anywhere close to its abilities. Like somebody 20, 30 years younger than me is using this thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's unreal.
You know what? It's new and it's exciting. And I think we're going to be learning more about it over the years. And maybe, who knows, it's going to be replaced
by it. Yeah,
replaced by
replaced.
It. Yeah, sure. Maybe they're going to maybe something's going to happen. Who knows? Yeah. But it's very exciting times, that's for sure. So what's happening now we're going to get into, so it sounds like we got your story, which is great. We got into a lot of detail. That was amazing. And I think you're right. I think over the years, you have all your ups and downs, and you just got to keep moving forward. I think that's the plan. So
right, just put on those blinders and keep moving forward, don't listen to everybody. Don't listen to the people that say, why don't you just get a job? You're an idiot. Or again, like how many times until you actually just go get a job, right? Or are you sure you want to do this, right? Are you sure? Maybe you're not meant to do this.Maybe God's telling you something, right? You got to blow past that.
I think God's telling you something, that you should be doing what you want, what you love to do. Even if it's not perfect, even if you hit some bumps in the road. I couldn't imagine working for somebody else ever. Because sometimes, you have your downturns in your business, like especially now in construction. I got projects on hold. Two of them went on hold. Yeah. Some have blips in the road. And you got to deal with it. And sometimes your wife is saying, why do you go work for someone? You don't have to worry about it. And then you're making money and that's it. And I said, what am I going to do? I said, how the hell am I going to go work for someone at this stage? Because you get used to the freedom, the drive, the energy, the love of what you're doing.
Sure.
And,
but guys like ours are the guys that get fired first because, we're older now, right? And we want a lot of money. So you go work in that, I can't even imagine how many 50-plus-year-olds are in the workforce right now, just counting down the days till they know they're getting laid off. Yeah. Right? And they're just sitting there like, fuck, I don't know what to do. I don't know when it's going to happen, but for God's sakes, I'm using this chat GPT thing. This thing's going to replace me pretty quickly.
Well, it's that whole thing that you got to you're working for somebody else. You got to go to the office every day. You're driving there. You've got to go and deal with all these people you don't like and have to deal with.
Yeah.
You have to deal with bosses and this and that. And, I've done that already. Yeah. I don't want to do that again.
No. And so what do you have to do? You got to go through all this fucking torture, right? To get to hopefully the other side where it's listen, you get to a point where it becomes a lot easier, right? You get to a point where it's now you get to play and you're making magic and, you're not worried that you're not going to have enough money in the bank next week because you got to hit a crazy payroll or whatever it is. You can get it to a point where it's pretty chill. And where there's enough money and everything is good. But I don't know how easy it is to get there without a bunch of bumps and bruises, right? You gotta, one way or another, whatever they are, there's going to be bumps and bruises that you got to persevere through at some point, right? Ideally when you're younger than when you're older, because when you're younger, I think I wouldn't want to recover from what I had to recover from when I was like in my early 30s now.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Like I definitely do not have the same chutzpah
energy.
Like I motivation, right? Like I'm getting fat, I'm getting lazier, I get more chill. I built a nice little thing for myself here, right? I can go on vacation where I want, when I want, and I don't have to lose a beat because, back in the day, I actually have it written out somewhere that I always wanted to build a business that was able to be run from a beach. Yeah. Okay. This was the goal. And I started running my construction company like that. I was lucky. It's funny, right before the iPhones came out and you had a video camera at your fingertips all the time.
Yeah.
I was working on a system for my sites with cameras and like cell phones, just so I could always be in touch with the site and see what's going on the site. From a beach, right? Because I had this idea that I'd like to be able to but just be able to leave for like a month and not lose a beat and still be on top of the site and see what's going on and fix the mistakes. And so luckily, actually, the iPhone came out and I was able to buy every guy that worked for me an iPhone, and I could be anywhere. And I'm like, just FaceTime me and show me what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And it gave me this crazy expansion ability. Now, it wasn't sustainable because of all kinds of reasons, but it just got me into the idea of tech. Like,
well, you know what? One of the things in construction is like, as much as you do phone calls and videos and pictures and this and that, you really have to get to the site to run these jobs, and that's
or have somebody doing it, right? So
yeah, you have to have the right people in place too. That's critical.
That's very critical. And so I ended up, unfortunately, with an alcoholic working for me, running the place, who was very good at hiding that he was an alcoholic, but not very good at actually doing the work. And that didn't mix well with me being on a beach looking at the camera phone, right?
We've had a few of those. Well, listen, this has been, we've got another gig after this one, and you've been a great guest, and
thanks.
And maybe one day we can work together on something, and I really appreciate you being here, telling everybody your story. What can I say? This is what it's all about.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Where's the future? Are we able to make money in this climate?
Yeah, go to shrubs.me. It's the creator economy. You can make your own content, put it out there, monetize it behind the paywall, and all you got to do is just make content and post it.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. I promise. Okay?
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, Darryl.
For having me.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, man.
And thank you for listening to Building Success Series with Nick Ainis, a podcast breaking down real estate investing, business growth, and making money. Proudly brought to you by Nick Ainis Enterprises. Please share, like, and subscribe. See you again in 2 weeks.